당연히 이제 코로나19를 빼놓을 수가 없습니다. 먼저 이와 관련해서 주식시장에 좀 변화가 있을지 세계에서 가장 저명한 가치 투자자로 알려진 하워드 막스 오크트리 캐피털 회장 인터뷰부터 들어보시죠.
I don't think that you're going to see fundamental change to the investment process. I think that people will perhaps for a while always consider the possibility of a pandemic. But the truth is they don't happen that often. And many of them are not as bad as the coronavirus. So there may be, I was going to say there may be some modest leaning towards conservatism, but if you see how the market's behaving now, you wouldn't think so. So I'm going to say that the investment process and the investment industry is not going to be fundamentally changed.
네, 막스 회장은 중장기적으로 코로나에도 투자 과정과 산업은 변하지 않는다라고 강조를 했는데요. 그렇다면 단기적으로는 어떨까요? 당장 코로나 재확산 우려와 백신 접종 기대가 엇갈리고 있는데요. 2021년 증시에서 코로나19 영향은 어떻게 될 것으로 보십니까?
코로나 참 어려운 변수인데요. 사실은 2020년도도 코로나와 그에 대응하는 정책들 간의 상호작용 아니었습니까? 근데 21년도 코로나 바이러스 자체가 없어지지 않을 거잖아요. 백신이 나오면서 면역이 생길지 모르겠지만, 그래서 역시 이 구도는 일정 부분은 이제 간다고 보입니다.
다음으로는 이제 좀 더 개인 투자자들에게 좀 집중해서 좀 살펴보고 싶은데 2021년에도 좀 관통할 키워드는 역시 동학개미입니다. 이 개인 투자자들의 부각은 사실 우리나라에만 국한된 현상은 아닌데요. 이들의 등장과 관련해서 또 하워드 막스 회장 투자 조언을 내놨는데 인터뷰부터 들어보시죠.
I think you can't invest by a formula. You can't say if a stock has a low PE ratio, then it's good value, and if it has a high PE ratio, it's not. And that's why investing is not a simple activity. Many stocks have low PE ratios for a good reason, that they have a bad business. Many stocks have a high PE ratio because they have a wonderful business. And it would be a mistake to say I'm going to ignore all stocks that have a PE ratio above 15 or above 20 or something like that. I'm going to ignore all the ones that have a high return on equity and focus on the ones with low return and vice versa. You can't do it by the numbers. What the job of the investor is to balance the quality of what he's getting versus the price. Just like when you go in a store and you want to buy a piece of clothing, you look at how good it is, and then you say, is it worth the price? We don't say I only buy shirts that cost under $20. Maybe you can find a great shirt for under $20, but maybe you have to pay $30 to get a better one, and you might conclude that it's worth it. So I think a lot of people confuse value investing with low price. And a lot of things have low prices for a perfectly good reason, which is that that's all they deserve. So I think you have to get off the numbers and get off the belief that you can make money just by buying stocks with low PE ratios. Well, I don't know about conditions in other countries, not in Korea, not in India. I know that investing has become popular among young people lately. One of the theories is that the casinos were all closed because of the lockdown, and the sports teams, in America, there's a lot of sports and people bet heavily on sports, but the sports teams weren't playing because of the lockdown. So with no casinos and no sports betting, people had to turn to the stock market instead. The other thing is that the government supplemented unemployment insurance for people out of work with a large amount. Unemployment insurance usually pays about $300 a week, and the government added another $600. So people were getting $900 a week, and a substantial percentage of people made more during the lockdown than they did when they were working. So maybe they had some extra money to gamble with, and the recovery of the stock market from the low that was set on March 23rd was very strong, and maybe that excited some people. But for whatever reason, it does seem anecdotally that so-called retail investing has become more popular. I don't personally think that it's enough to influence the market, other than at the margin. But I don't think that you can blame the level of the market on retail investing, and I don't think that a change of heart by the retail investors is going to kill the market. I do want to respond to what you said about people borrowing money to invest in the stock market. I think that that's very dangerous. I would encourage people to invest within your means. One of the most important things in investing is you have to have a clear head so that you can do the right thing when trouble comes. And if you've invested money that isn't yours, if you've invested money that you've borrowed from somebody else and you're going to have to pay it back, I think it makes it very hard to, for example, hold on to good stocks when the market is collapsing. And it's hard to be unemotional when you're playing with borrowed money. So I would caution your viewers not to get out on a limb and get in trouble with borrowed money.
이 개인 투자자들이 빚을 내서 투자하는 소위 빚투와 기업에 대한 분석 없이 수치만 보고 베팅하는 것에 대해서 경계를 해야 한다는 막스 회장의 조언이었습니다.